Welcome to Get to Know Andy Stokes with thisisrnb.com. I am your host, Rocky, and welcome to you, Mr. Stokes, or should I call you Andy? I just want to make sure.
Call me Andy, you know.
Okay.
Andy. Yeah.
Okay, good. Great to meet you, Andy. So you are pretty much a quiet legend that a lot of people don't know about.
I have to tend to agree with you on that, I guess. Yeah, I've been in the game for 3 decades and made, being an independent artist is to get to that next level sometimes is you make noise, you have a couple of hits and then it goes up and comes down. And then, if you don't have the extras, extra push that I do have now, it makes a difference. But I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing, and God gave me this voice, and I'm doing what I love to do. So
I love it. So singer, songwriter, hailing from Portland, Oregon, Northwest King of Soul Music. Okay, 2-time inductee into Oregon's Music Hall of Fame. You've worked with a gamut of people. So we're talking about 3 decades. So when most of us were running around in Pampers or just a twinkle in our daddy eye, up until now, you've worked with Peabo Bryson, Michael Bolton, George Clinton, Snoop Dogg, Ro James. That is a gamut of artists. So I just salute to you for all that you've done in the industry. And I love how your mentor was the legendary Kashif. And I don't know if a lot of people don't know, Kashif was a producer extraordinaire who worked with Whitney Houston, Patrice Rushen. So let's talk about first your new single.
Yes.
Because we know a lot of people know you from Best Day Ever, 2018's Best Day Ever, that shot up the adult R&B charts on the Billboard's adult R&B charts. So you've already made a name for yourself, but now you're coming back with I Don't Give a Damn. When I saw that title, I was like, okay, now what is this about? So it was written by Kashif, right? Who was your mentor.
Yes.
When you came into the industry. So tell us about that. Like, is this like a salute to him? Like, what made you decide to do I Don't Give a Damn?
Well, I was in LA, trying to do what every other artist trying to get a deal, and I got to meet him and he played this song. And when I first heard the song, the emotions in the music and the words touched me, and I said, man, this could be a message for male and female about facing your mistakes and coming to terms to what's really important. And so his tempo was a little bit faster than mine. And I said, no, I would do it as a ballad because I'm a ballad singer. I love singing ballads. And I said a ballad, I think it would have more impact than the upbeat tempo that he had on it. So, hey, when you go back to Portland, just, do it your way. Let me know how people perceive it. And, plus he, gave me, it was a brief thing, brief meeting or whatever. And I saw him a couple of times but he told me things that I should know about in the industry. He gave me his book, All You Better Know About the Music Industry. And he just, gave me tips of what, for studio singing and never give up no matter how many ups and downs you have. He said, you got a gift and just keep going. He said, nobody knows how long it takes for you to get up there, but you can never stop because if you stop doing your passion, you might as well just be done. So.
Right. Absolutely. You might as well just hang it up then. And I mean, that's what makes you, the passion is what drives you to live pretty much. So I love that. And so, because Sheaf did it as up tempo. So talk about that, you transitioning it into a ballad, because it sounds like it could be a ballad. So I couldn't even imagine it as up tempo. And did you tell him that you were going to change it around?
I told him that I heard it as a ballad.
Okay. So you told him that.
And he was up here, boom, but have you ever met someone? He was right there. It was just so fine. Okay. He was right there. And so I'm sitting in the room going, say, have you ever met someone who was just so fine? And that's why I went with it. And I said, this is a ballad. Because when I did it that way, I got goosebumps. And so I said, "Oh, this is how I'm gonna do it." So I recorded that way. My first recording, I did it, and I took it to Portland. I sang it performed it in the club, and I had this venue called the Candlelight that I was there for 12 years every Sunday night. The following Sunday after I sang it, by the time I got to the front door, I had 9 guys come to me. "Hey, you gonna sing that song?" I said, "Man, you know that's what that song's about, right?" He goes, "Man, everybody lived that life, man. That's my song, man." I said, "Okay." Then he goes to the door, "I don't give a damn." And so I knew it was special right then. That's when I knew it was special.
Right. And I'm sure, a lot of people, men and women, have been there where they done messed up.
Absolutely.
And they're like, "I don't give a damn what I got to do. I got to get you back in my life. I got to get you back in my life."
And that's a testament to any person that, okay, I made a mistake. I'm gonna try to get own up to what you do. You might not get her back or get him back or whatever, but it shows your character, of trying to. I'm sorry I made a mistake. I understand if you don't forgive me or take me back, but I just have to try.
Okay, so Andy, you're married now, right?
Yes.
But you were previously divorced.
Yes.
As well. So did you kind of relate back or refer back to some times during your previous marriage for "I don't give a damn," or was it some personal experiences that you tapped into?
At one time I wasn't happy and slipped. I'm not gonna lie. You get unhappy sometime, and and you leave before you finish. You got to finish before you leave, and some people make that mistake of leaving before they finish over here. And so it was a part of my life where that happened, and so when I sang it, all those emotions came out. Everything came out, and two feelings, how I felt singing the song. All those emotions came out, and I said, I'm trying to relate this to somebody. Let me tell this message, and so far people are hearing it. And I hadn't performed it. I sat on the song for a long time before I even sang it live. And when I did, the reaction was amazing. Mm-hmm. "Oh, we love that song. We love that song. This and that. I don't give a damn. That song." And so when I hadn't sang it in a long time, and I did a big festival, 37,000 people in Portland, Waterfront Blues Festival. And I sang it. I hadn't sang it in a long time. And they all just, "I don't give a damn." And that's when I knew. So, Kashif, this is for you.
Right. Because he's been gone, I think, since 2016. It's been about 6 years now. So it's a trip how things just come full circle. Yeah. How things are new to us, because "I Don't Give a Damn" is out March 20th. The video and single are March 20th. Mm-hmm. So it's new to us, but you've been sitting on it for a while. And that always amazes me how artists will say, "Oh, I did this. I wrote this 20 years ago. Or I wrote this 15 years ago." And it's like, that just shows how music is so golden. It never loses its appeal.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time. So
absolutely.
He was amazing. I was in a band singing all of his songs. So
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about how pretty much you are in the midst of a comeback from several setbacks. You had your identity stolen. You
oh my God.
Went through homelessness.
Oh my God.
Divorce. And we know how capricious the music industry is. Like, it's picky. One day they like you, the next day they don't. And it comes with extreme highs and lows. Mm-hmm. So talk about some lessons that you've learned along this journey and how you've been able to persevere.
Well, when all that stuff happened, my coping skills weren't very good. And I had to, you feel sorry for yourself, especially when you're going through the identity thing, when something happens to you that you didn't cause, and it takes everything away from you. It really beats you up. I mean, I ballooned up to almost 300 pounds and depressed. I turned to food for my comfort, because your brain never shuts down. And so I would come home from a show and eat all this food so I can go into a coma and go to sleep. So I didn't have to think about stuff, but music was always the force that I ran to. So when I went and performed, all that negative inside of me, I poured out into my performances. Mm-hmm. And so, and I'm telling you, Rocky, I had great friends. I had great friends that I didn't have to sleep on the street or in my car. And so my lesson to everybody is this: you might go through the toughest times in your life, but you got to dig in and fight. You got to dig in and fight. I know it's easier said than done for some people, but you got to dig in. I'm living proof that you can do it. I'm living proof. And, you know, you go through, you know, everybody hates to go through divorce, but sometimes two people don't work out, and that's the way it goes, you know. But the good thing is I'm still friends.
Oh. So you get along better now that you're not married? Is that?
You know how they go.
We love each other now. We were friends. We friends now.
Yeah, we cool now.
Now, Andy, do you have any children as well?
No, I do not.
I
got two poodles.
Okay, those are children. Pets are like children as well.
Well, the one we just got, Odin, he a handful. So
I love it, Odin.
Yeah. You know, I'm
like Thor's dad?
I'm a cartoon guy.
I was going to say like Thor's dad?
Exactly. Thor's dad. Exactly.
I love it. My husband is a comic book junkie, so okay. I got the reference.
Yeah, that was good. So, but yeah, no, but I've been blessed with this beautiful woman that came into my life out of nowhere. And I was able to be calm. You know, I was able to talk to her, you know, cry around her, speak my mind, and, you know, and she has a great family. You know, my family loves her, and I wouldn't be talking to you if it weren't for her.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So I'm glad, and you definitely have to have that resilience in this business. So is I Don't Give a Damn, is that part of an upcoming album? Because I know your EP now is out right now, but is I Don't Give a Damn, is what's coming? What's more?
Well, I got some other songs coming. I'm trying to do a full album this time. And so I got enough songs, you know, over the COVID, you know, I got a studio put in my house, and this guy blessed me with teaching me audio engineering, which you know, when I came into the business, I didn't know nothing. All I had was this. And so he helped me set up a studio, and him and I collaborated on some songs, and so I got like 15 songs sitting in the bucket, mixed and mastered, ready to go. And I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm bringing back some old school. I'm doing some original stuff, and yeah, you know, I'm from that era. I
love it.
You know, I'm from that era, so I'm bringing it back. To me, old school never dies.
Absolutely. I'm a 80s and 90s R&B fiend. I am a 80s, like I can all day. I was just listening to Shantae Moore and Keith Washington earlier today. Like I was like that, and then I realized I was like, that album, Shantae Moore's first album came out in 1992. I'm like, this is 30 years later. I'm like, this is one of the best R&B albums ever. So so that's what I was going to ask. What can we expect from you when the album comes? It's going to be some R&B, some funk, some soul.
It's going to be everything. It's going to be everything that R&B, funk, mid-tempo, everything. I'm hitting the whole gambit. I'm hitting the whole thing. Everything. You're going to put the CD in or whatever you're listening to, and you ain't got to turn it off. It's going to go straight down. Every song. That's my goal.
Push play.
Where you can just play and not have to worry about, you know, what song is coming up. Is it better than the first one or whatever? All of them going to be good. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
So how have you, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's not ignore that we are still in the midst of a pandemic. Yeah. How has that been for you, Andy? Has it motivated you? I'm sure some of us, us creatives, it definitely was a way for us to sit down, focus on some projects, finish what we've started, start some new ones. So what has that been like for you through the pandemic?
Well, of course, for every artist, it's been hard. You know, I had a tour set up that didn't happen because of COVID. And so I, you know, when it first hit, you know, my wife had me doing all these projects around the house, so I didn't have time to be doing too much music. And so once we got that done, my friend, Michael Ortega, called me up and, do you have a studio in your house? No. He said, I'm sending you stuff. He sent me everything. The only thing I had to buy was the studio speakers, and then he taught me the whole time during COVID about how to record and record my own music. So the music I did, I got to record in my own house.
I
And so
love it.
COVID was positive for me because I was very creative, and it made me, jump in my craft, jump into the music and do what I'm supposed to do as an artist. And so when that was done, I started doing concerts in the neighborhood for the neighbors and brought the whole neighborhood together. Because, in the neighborhood, sometimes you don't know everybody,
Especially not these days, right?
Yeah. And so I would do concerts, and during the summer, I did concerts during the summer and brought the whole neighborhood out. And so it fed me. I got to perform. I got to meet new people, and it just kept me alive. And said, okay, I'm good. I can weather this. So
I love it.
That's what I did. And me and my wife get when you in a relationship, man, we you get closer and you go back to hey, let's go on a walk, or let's go do this, let's go take a drive, and let's go get the dogs and go to the beach, the normal stuff. And I think COVID made people take a step back and realize that it ain't all that hard. Just relax and step back and live your life.
Right. Things were very, very simplified. I really appreciated how things were simplified, because sometimes we make life a bit harder than it needs to be. Absolutely. Yes. So besides having to persevere and keeping at it, what are 3 things that you would advise to today's artists? Well, first, let me ask this. What are some today's artists, a couple that you are digging? Who are you liking, some new artists that you're digging? And what will be your advice to them so they can have 30 years in the game like you?
Well, it's let me use the word plethora of artists that I like. When I got into the game, not knowing the business, I like everybody because I learned from everybody to get here, and so, God, Kendrick Lamar, Bruno Mars, Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, Snoop, of course, love my DJ Battlecat. And those are the ones, because I like everybody from different genres because it honed me and I created my style from all of that. So, and my advice is, don't ever give up on your passion. Be true to yourself. Learn the business. Learn the business inside and out. I'm gonna say it one more time. Learn the business.
I have a producer friend who says that being in this business is 10% of your talent and 90% of how you handle the business. So your publishing, making sure your copyright's in order, all of that, making sure you're registered, all of those different back-end business things that we have to remember.
Yeah, all those points. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm a mentor too. So I love mentoring young kids and helping the next up and coming artists. I'm trying to help them, steer them in the right path so they don't get caught up like I did.
Right.
So that's my thing.
I love it. Well, I've definitely enjoyed chatting with you, Andy, and just a couple more questions and then we're going to wrap up. So You've worked with, as you said, a plethora of artists. Is there anyone else left on your bucket list that you want to work with?
I want to sing with Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson.
When I played your song earlier today, my husband said that he said, is that Charlie Wilson? I was like, no, his name is Andy Stokes.
Yeah. Quick story. He's the reason I went solo. I was the band. I was with a band Kular, who was back. Was some of the members from the group Pleasure back in the day. Formed the band Kular. We got signed with A&M. And we were over in Japan. He was there with the Eurythmics, and he all came to the show. Him, Phyllis Hyman, Troop, Dynamic Social Club, all of them were in there. And so it was my first singing concert, after being signed artist. And I, I just looked up and said, Lord, if you're gonna give me a voice, you gotta give it to me tonight. Because I looked out the curtains and froze, seeing everybody. And George Clinton was there too. So I came out, did my show and everything, and then Charlie runs on stage. He's throwing napkins at me. Then he runs on stage and he hugs me. He goes, you need to go home and develop that style you got. He said, you got something special. You hear me? I said, I heard you. And he hugged me like really hard, dude. And then he left. And so then I walked off the stage by George and them. And George, you know, with their, you know, George, F you. I go, F you. He go, F you. I said, F you. Then Amp Fiddler goes, no, man. You sung your behind off, but they didn't use behind, man. And I said, well, thank you. Coming from you, man, that means a lot. And so me and Amp Fiddler hung out and got invited to the show. Got the. Did
you say Amp Fiddler?
Amp Fiddler, yeah.
Yes, Detroit's own Amp Fiddler.
Yep, we hung out that night.
I love it.
Band. And so he invited me to the show, and then Eddie Hazel waving to me said, George wants you on stage. And so I went on stage, George handed me the mic, said, man, I'm tired, you front the band for the rest of the night. They went into Atomic Dog and I lost my mind, you know. And so afterward, George said, come break bread with me. And he said the exact same thing that Charlie did. And I knew when I left Tokyo, Japan, what I needed to do. I had to leave the situation I was in and start my own journey. And George goes, don't know how long it's gonna take you, but you gotta go get it.
I love it. So shout out to Charlie Wilson and George Clinton for that.
Absolutely.
I love it. Awesome. So one last question, Andy.
Yes.
What would you be doing if you weren't a singer-songwriter?
I would have probably been a football player.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was trying to go to the NFL to buy my mama a house.
Okay.
You know, and so I would have been something, I had to do something with sports. My family was sports oriented. You know, I was a football star in high school and went to college, and my dad was all everything, you know, so we were a sports family. So that's probably what I would have been doing.
Okay. So are you happy that Tom Brady is unretiring?
You know, that's his business. He needs to stop before he get hurt. But, that being an athlete, I understand, you know, when you're done, like when I realized that football is not going to be for me, it hit me hard. It hit me hard. It's like, oh my God, I gotta want to try one more time. And my mother came into the room and said, mother, 6 kids, miss no words. She just opened the door and went, that football, that wasn't your calling. That singing, that's your calling. Boom. Okay. And I just followed it, and here I am talking to you on
and
this
R&B. Yes.
I mean, I'm just so excited, I'm half nervous and everything else just to be on here, because this is to me, it's a big deal to me. And when I came out with my Full Circle record, you had my stuff up, but having the interview today with you, it means a hell of a lot to me.
Me as well. I am honored to be interviewing you, because you're obviously, like I said, a quiet storm legend that a lot of people don't know about. So I really appreciate it. So I don't give a damn. By the way, Pretty Lady in the video. Love the video. I don't give a damn is out on all DSPs, all digital streaming platforms. Video's out March 20th. Right. And so when the album is coming, you're going to get back with us, right? You're going to reach back out to us, so maybe we can get included on that new album.
I promise. That's a promise. Yes. So I'm going to be working on that. And in a couple of weeks, I'll start trying to put that together. And so that to be available for people. But, y'all getting ready to know about me, because I'm coming.
Yes, get ready for Andy Stokes. We're going to hear a lot more from you. So any last thoughts you want to leave with our audience, Andy?
Hey, be good to yourself. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Andy Stokes Music. And my website is andystokesmusic.com. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and like and bell, do everything so you can know what's going on with me. And love yourself, be careful, be safe. Tell somebody you love them once in a while. Absolutely.
Okay. Especially those you give a damn about.
Exactly. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Andy. Okay. It was great speaking with you, and we look forward to hearing more from you at thisisrnb.com.
Thank you very, very much for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.